you know, if it changes during the process of, well, I shouldn't say agents. If the owners don't inform the agent of the boundaries being changed during the listing process, the agent's not going to know. You know, but I understand where he's coming from on the legal aspect, legal side of it. But from a consumer side, if it said KISD on it, we actually didn't even look at the listing, because we were not going to sit there and take time to try to figure out where that listing, what schools went to it, because we figured if the agent didn't have enough time to do that, the agent wasn't going to have enough time to talk to us. So, and maybe I'm a hard butt about it, but I'm licensed now, so I took care of myself. I did my own contracts. The boundaries? Yeah, there's another website that does that as well. I'll find that website and it'll show you the different school boundaries. It's actually pretty good.
What I understand is I picked, 6 or 7 neighborhoods that had the same similar name, different sections, whatever, and I hit search, and then I zoom my map in and I saved that search.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would I need to do that? 6 or 7 times.
You're gonna have to do that for every neighborhood.
So each neighborhood. So okay. So then I need the search. I need to save as one of the neighborhoods, and then the next one section, whatever, and then section. And I need to label it that way.
No, each section or phase of a neighborhood is grouped together as one neighborhood. You're not creating a saved search for each one of those check boxes. You're creating it as a neighborhood name in general. A good example is Cinco Ranch. Let me get back and I'll show you. Here. Okay, so if I was going to do Cinco Ranch, I would select every Cinco Ranch inside here,
right,
and save it. Now, if I wanted to go back and create one that was just Cinco Ranch Equestrian Villa, then I would just select those and save that as a separate search.
right.
But in general, everybody knows Cinco Ranch as Cinco Ranch. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Would it do any good to do searches for all those?
What do you mean?
I mean, to do specific one Cinco Ranch forest section, and then do all the Cincos. Would that help out on that?
You can, but people don't know these phases or sections and stuff like that. They just know it by Cinco Ranch.
Right.
I live in Katy. I don't even know half the stuff that's in here. Cinco Ranch, North Lake Village. I couldn't even tell you where that's at.
But then that's when you go to search and it goes to the map and then you eliminate the ones that.
You can, yes, but in general, because as a neighborhood or community, you're doing it based off the neighborhood or community name, not the sections or the phases or the different parts of the neighborhood itself. You can still go in and create searches for each one of those, but in general, you're doing an overall blanket for the neighborhood. So, case in point for Cinco Ranch has Cinco Ranch High School. Part of it's actually been partitioned off to 7 Lakes, I think, now. You have Cinco Ranch Junior High, and you have probably 2 or 3 different elementaries that service that neighborhood. So the junior high, the high school, and the elementaries would all be secondaries. You'd have 5 or 6 secondaries for that neighborhood because of the schools. Yes, you will.
So in this case here, you're going to select all Cinco Ranches names, and then you're going to hit search. You're going to get your map, zoom in wherever you feel like you need to eliminate anything that's out of the ordinary, and then save that search
As Cinco Ranch.
as Cinco Ranch. And then what's the next search you're going to make?
Okay, Falcon Rock, Firethorn, 7 Lakes, 7 Meadows, Falcon Ranch.
Cinco Ranch community?
No, these are all different neighborhoods.
You're done with Cinco Ranch.
You're done with Cinco Ranch.
The next neighborhood in Katy.
Yes.
Or wherever you're.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like in Kingwood, you got
Oak
Barracks
Park
Ranch,
Trails,
you got
Meadow Oaks.
Kings Point, you got Elm Grove, Hunter's Ridge.
Yeah.
all those different communities.
You're creating the communities or neighborhood pages.
Right. Okay.
And if there's different sections or phases, all you're doing is grouping them together under that one community.
Right.
And then
click
you,
on search for that
right,
community.
and then you move on to your next one.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay, so under search controls, so site builder, oh, my searches, managed searches, sorry. No. Everything was going so good. My searches, managed searches. We're going to click on create SEO search page. So under create SEO search page. So the SEO page name is will be the neighborhood name and city. So the SEO page name will be the neighborhood name and city. The custom URL will be the neighborhood name and city. If you want to put state in there, you can put state in there as well. Cinco-Ranch-Katy or Cinco-Ranch-Katy-Texas. Just a thought or an idea. In the URL, either use the state or don't use the state. Always do it the same. And two reasons for that. One, when you put Texas in there, it actually picks up as Cinco-Ranch-Katy or Cinco-Ranch-Katy-Texas. Do you see what I'm talking about? So if I have Texas in there, Cinco-Ranch-Katy still will help, but putting Texas in there also helps as well. Here's the other thing. You will remember every URL to the pages that you create regarding neighborhoods, as long as you remember to put the state at the end. If you do it on some and not on the others, you'll get it mixed up and you won't remember. The page builder content, click on that drop down, and that page that you created that you put text or SEO at the end of it, you're going to click on that drop down and you're going to select that page. After you select the page, the search page object, you're going to turn it off. Now the search page object, let me explain what that is. If you leave that set to yes, when somebody goes to that web page, what's going to display over on the right hand side is a box. Y'all are yawning, you're making me yawn. I was fine, she yawned, but then I think somebody over there yawned and all of a sudden he yawned. I'm like, okay, stop. All right. The search page object, what it does, it actually creates another search box on the web page. And you don't need that search box anymore. If you remember from this morning, what is underneath the menu bar on all of your internal pages?
Search for
the quick search.
Yeah, the quick search.
Right? Because that quick search is underneath the menu bar, you no longer need this search page object. Okay? So always turn that one off. Your saved search, click on your drop down and you're going to select the neighborhood that you just created. Now for most of you, it should be pretty simple. You got two choices because I think you created two searches. So click on that drop down, select the search. In your title, again, it's going to be the neighborhood name, the city, and the state. Now, what I've been doing, I haven't been putting in the zip codes, but
Is it a good idea to put in the zip
Not really. Zip code's too generic.
Okay.
So you put in your primary phrase in the first part of it. You're going to separate it with a pipe. And most of you probably don't know what a pipe is. If you look on your keyboard, the right side, right above your enter key, there's a vertical bar. If you hold your shift key down and hit that key, that is called a pipe. On some keyboards, it'll actually be 2 vertical dashes. It's the same thing, it's called a pipe. Search engines look at the pipe the same way as a hyphen. So before we move any further inside this part of it, how important is the title and the description? Okay? Of course you're going to say very, because I'm asking you that question. Is the title and description viewable to the public? In your search engines, Bing, Yahoo, Google, and all of these, when you run a search, this link right here is the title. That link right there is the title. Right down below is the description. The only place your title and description is viewable is in the search engines or displayed in the search results. So now, how important is that? When you run a search, what do you look at or what do you read to decide whether you're going to click on it? And it's not that's not a trick question. People look at 2 things. They look at the title, but they also read the description. Myself, I don't look at the titles anymore. I actually glance at the description. If the description doesn't even have the keywords I'm looking for, I'm moving on. So that's why it's very important that in your description, the first sentence should always have the primary phrase for that web page. And it should be like a call to action. What are they going to see when they get to that web page? They can view all the listings for that neighborhood.
Your phone number's going to come up in that.
Yes. Yes, I want my phone number in the search results.
So whatever phone number you choose, though, that can be like a main office number or it can be a, right? Like,
It could be a direct number, office number, whatever it is.
but it's going to be consistent, right?
Yep, you can put in another agent's phone number, doesn't matter. You just want to be consistent. Now, in these search results like this, by having the name and phone number up here, you're creating this web page to draw traffic to your website. By drawing traffic to your website, you increase the number of visitors to your website. The more visitors to your websites, the more leads you get into your lead street. The more leads you get into your lead street turns into the more to leads that you convert to buyers or sellers. I'm not going to freak you out, but I'm going to be honest with you. It takes about 100 visitors to your website to turn into 1 client. I'm not talking about 100 leads. I'm talking about 100 visitors to turn into 1 client. The only way you're going to increase the visitors is by creating web pages and creating content. Okay, so your description, first sentence should be the primary phrase. The middle sentences include your secondary phrases. The last sentence, put your primary phrase, because in the description field, your primary phrase should be twice. And your secondaries are 1 time each.
What if the schools aren't exceptional? Could other people in?
No, you can just put in there Kilpatrick Junior High School,
Are located in the neighborhood?
or located in the neighborhood, or service this neighborhood. Or you can put in there they're declassified as a state-run facility. You know, whatever you want to put in there. I'm kidding.
Well, you're not using exemplary, you're using exceptional. It's just,
Yeah, it depends on what you consider exceptional.
What the state, yeah,
I'm sorry?
the state classifies them as something.
The state classifies them as exemplary and some other phrases.
Standard recommended.
Yeah. You know, so exceptional is your own interpretation. Your keywords. Your keywords, you're going to type in the phrase and just separate it with a comma. It can be all lowercase, it can be all caps.
And at the end, you've just got, it's like some random words, Cinco Ranch, Katy, Texas. Is it gonna pick up those words individually?
No, that's actually the phrase.
That's a phrase.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if I put Cinco, comma, Ranch, comma, Katy, comma, Texas, it just means I'm separating those words individually. It's not going to help me by doing that. The keywords, here's the thing. Search engines don't even use keywords anymore, but it doesn't mean that they won't ever come back and use them again. You're already on this page. You might as well add them inside there. After you added the information, click on Update. Okay. Who's not finished on this yet? Okay.
You're not using, I mean, you don't put a column between Katy, Texas, or anything like that? Doesn't matter?
No.
I just noticed you put commas between each keyword,
The phrase.
key phrases.
Yes, only the phrases, not the words.
Right. Yeah, so.
Capitalization doesn't matter.
Yeah, it could be all caps, it can be lowercase. It doesn't matter on the keywords.
Jim, it has Kilpatrick Elementary, Cinco Ranch Junior High, and Cinco Ranch High School. So you only put school after one of them? You don't want it to become a...
Because that's not the name. It's Kilpatrick Elementary. That's the name of the school. So we're not doing Kilpatrick Elementary School. Cinco Ranch Junior High. That's the name of it. And Cinco Ranch High School is Cinco Ranch High School, not Cinco Ranch or Cinco Ranch High.
Okay.
So you're using the actual names of the schools. If it has school at the end, then yes, you'll include it in there.
What about James E. Taylor High School, and then people call it Katy Taylor?
Or they just call it Taylor.
Right.
And the thing is, you'd actually name it as James E. Taylor High School, because you'll have the word Katy in there anyway inside your content, so you don't have to have Katy Taylor. It can be James E. Taylor. I live right in that area, so almost everybody there calls it Taylor. They don't even call it Katy Taylor.
Like Iran, and then you can write
Yeah.
proper name, go back and check what I'm saying, that's not what it's called.
And the thing is that if you use abbreviations for areas in your market area, the issue with that is that people that are relocating is not going to search it as that. They're going to search it as the actual name itself, because that's what they know it as, not as an abbreviation. All right, once you added the information, click Update. And when you update, where does it automatically place that page? Where? It does save it underneath there, but where does it place the page?
Oh, under, was it, what, community or whatever?
Go to Site Content. Click on Site Content.
Okay.
And always remember, when you create this web page, it will always put it under Properties
Okay. and
with the sort value of 99.
Right.
You're going to click on Edit on the link settings. And when you click Edit on the link settings, the next page that comes up where it says Displays On, click on that drop down. And you can select Community. And then your sort value, you can set it to 75, 100, whatever number you want to use. I'm using 75 just on my demo account. And then click Submit. So displays on, click the drop down, select Community. Sort value, I'm using 75, so if you want to use 75 just to play around, that's fine. Then click Submit. After you submit, over on your top right hand side under Apps, Widgets, and Reports, there's a link that says View Live Website. Okay, so over on your top right hand side, Apps, Widgets, and Reports, there's a link right below the buttons. Click View Live Website. When you click View Live Website, your website opens up in a new window and you mouse over Community. You should now see that page that you just created. Mouse over that page, click on it, and then you should have your content and then the search down below.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm creating a number. When you create your agent saved searches and your SEO search pages, do we need two different numbers on those, or are they all the same number for that community?
Agent say searches,
Oh, never mind.
there's no numbers on them.
Going too far. Never mind. I wrote down what you were going through earlier, and then I just didn't.
Okay,
I duplicated my stuff.
you missed a step.
What did you get out of it?
I typed in all that stuff, but it
Okay, give me a second and we'll go look at it. Okay, scroll to the top, click on Site Content. Okay, this is the SEO search, see? So you have to click on Edit on Link Settings,
Okay.
and then click on the drop down, Community, and then change
That's
this.
the page it goes on to.
Right, and that's where it drops it down to, and then change your sort value to
I'm just-
75 or whatever you want to use. Then submit.
Now I can go.
Okay, and just click View Live Website. And then when you mouse over Community, you should see the neighborhood page.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay. And what was it that you were missing?
or I had just typed in a bunch of stuff right here, but that stuff.
You're not going to see that. It's hidden.
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
So you got it? Okay. So did everybody get that? Is everybody good?
I think I'm good. I didn't like the name when it came up. It just said Bear Branch. I just renamed it Bear Branch Village. Do I need to change everything else and add village
Okay.
to it?
Okay. In your search, you're the only one that's going to see that part. Don't click on it. You're the only one that's going to see from right here. Okay?
Right.
Over here, click on Manage.
Yeah, that's what I want to change.
And then click on Edit.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to
Okay?
put village here.
Okay, and that's where people will see it.
Okay.
All right, they'll see the first two, but they will not see those.
So I probably need to put village here. and then like that, something like that.
Yep, and then everything else is fine.
Okay.
Then you submit, and then you're good. Y'all good? Okay, now we have a test in like 15 minutes, so. Yeah. Y'all are good?
No, can I ask one question?
Yes.
I did, I went through the whole process.
Okay.
Where are we? And I added Black Horse, so that's cool.
Okay.
That works. Now I went back to see, okay, I gotta add Longwood. How come? Where do I go to get? Do
Okay.
I just go to manage?
Hold on.
And edit? No?
Nope,
Okay.
close that.
Thank you. That's what I was doing.
Okay, so this is the search that you're looking at.
Right, right.
Scroll to the bottom. If you create a saved search, the SEO search, it'll show up here. So you haven't created the SEO search for it
Okay.
yet. So if you don't manage, scroll up.
Okay.
So in order to do Longwood, you have to create the SEO search. And then that's where you got to fill in all that information for Longwood.
Got it.
Okay? So is everybody good? Is that okay? I can tell you right now, if you don't download the instructions, it does reference the book. By Monday, you will forget everything that we just went through this afternoon. It's not so much, it's just so many steps involved in it.
You gotta do it over and over before it sinks in.
Yeah, you've got to. And here's the thing. In the instructions, step 1, it says to create the web page. Step 2, it says to create the search. You can go in and create the searches immediately because all you're doing is creating saved searches. And then you can come back and do the web pages and then create the SEO search page itself. So whether you do the pages or the searches, it doesn't matter which order you do those two. You just have to do them before you go to the third step inside that process. Now, there's a couple of things I want to cover up here. We went through search controls. Scroll to the top, click on SEO Manager.
Having power outages at the schools, so they're like calling me to pick up the kids.
Okay, we're almost done if you need to
No,
go.
I'm not picking. I got too much work to do.
Okay. Okay.
Hunker down and get the flashlight.
All right, scroll to the top and click on SEO Manager. So scroll to the top, click on SEO Manager.
Okay.
Under the SEO Manager, this is really a brief snapshot of the pages that you have or will complete. So as of right now, you should have one page inside there with the smiley face.
Yes.
Is that correct? Now, here's the thing. Just because you have a smiley face does not mean that it's set up correctly. It just means that you have something in the URL, the descriptions, the keywords, and the content. You can put one letter in each one of those fields and still get a smiley face. So when you start creating these web pages, if you don't have the content for those fields, do not put it inside there. Because if you're like, you know what, I'm just going to put a letter in there just so I can get the face, I'll come back and finish it later, you're not going to go back and finish it later. Or you're not going to remember what page it was that you said you're going to go back and finish. Okay? So this is a good snapshot to show you what you've completed and where's my mouse at? What you still have to work on. Okay? Now, SEO submission. Google, you can no longer submit individual web pages. You can only submit your URL. So if you go to Google and just type in website submit, one of the first links for Google will actually take you to their site submission page. You're going to type in your domain name and submit it. That's all you have to do. And then you're done. Then you just wait for Google to come in and start crawling your website. Up at the top, tracking codes. Try it again. Up at the top, tracking codes. By default, that's blank. You need to set up Google Analytics for your website, and it's free. Under the support files, there are instructions on how to set up Google Analytics. If you run into problems, you can email eCare. There's a phone number on the back of the book as well for eCare. I think it's 398-7171 or something like that. 888-398-7171. And Google Analytics. Now what Analytics does, it tells you how many people have been to your website. What are they doing? What are they typing in phrases? What are they typing in? All right, so here's Google Analytics. I'm going to sign in.
This is another free tool from
Mhm.
Google.
It's a free tool.
When you sign up for that AdWords, is it you sign up one time for both of these, or do you have to sign
They're
up
completely separate.
separate? Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so this is my analytics for my current website. Went live August, whatever date that was. New visitors, 43.4%, returning 56.6. You can go in, it'll tell you the location of where they're coming from. And it should be everybody from the US. Okay, kind of figured that. But you can go into traffic sources, and you can go into referrals, and actually see where they're coming from. You can go to all traffic, Google, Yahoo, Fiverr. Okay, so you can actually see where everybody's coming from. Now, I'm showing you this because I'm hoping the last class of this year in the afternoon, we're actually going to spend time going through Google Analytics and how to use it and how to create reports so you can actually see what's going on each month. You need to be able to see how your website's trending, because if something's wrong, you want to be able to fix it. Okay, so that's Google Analytics. Nobody's on my website, but this is the cool part. Once you build up enough traffic on your website, you can go in and start watching real time, and if somebody's on your website, you can actually track where they're coming from. Now, you want to talk about really trippy? What if you're watching this and they submit a lead and you accept it and you email them, hey, I see that you've been on the website for so long, and you live in whatever, freak them out. You know, anyway. Not that I would do that.
You're being recorded right now.
Okay, so Google Analytics, it's a free tool, and I highly recommend that you go in, sign up for it. During the sign-up process, it is going to ask for your domain name. Make sure you put in your domain name and submit that. When it comes to the point of linking your website, there's going to be some Java coding that you're going to have to copy and paste over into your track codes here. If you don't know how to do that, call eCare. They can walk you through that part of it. There's also site verification. Now, this is getting a little more advanced. The site verification, and this is for people that are kind of techie and really want to dive into this part, but the site verification, you can go into Google Webmaster Tools, and this is something else that's free. Under Webmaster Tools, it goes in and actually analyzes your website. It tells you how many impressions and how many clicks you're getting, how many URLs on your website are submitted to Google, and how many have been indexed. And what they mean by indexed is they have them inside their database and they're ready to be crawled. Crawl stats. Crawl stats, activity in the last 90 days. The high was 73, average is 11. Okay, fetch as Google. I can fetch the website and actually see what it looks like. The web page that I just added content to, I submit it through Webmaster Tools for it to be fetched by Google. So instead of Google going in, looking at the website and looking at the site map, and then trying to find the page, by submitting it from here, it automatically crawls it. Okay? a little more advanced, but this is something else that I'd like to cover in December as well. A lot of tools that can help you with your website. I'm sorry? The same, if you go to remaxtexas.com/education, it's going to be the last afternoon class. It says website SEO. We're going to change it to Google Analytics and Webmaster Tools and how to use them. Okay? That's pretty much everything that we needed to cover here. Normally we go to about 3:30 or so, but y'all didn't talk. So it makes it kind of easy for me to get through my stuff. Yeah.
Let
So,
me ask you one quick question.
yes.
So what we just did, I just kind of want to highlight some things. Wasn't there like 3 things that we did to set up this this community? Search?
3 things.
There was a CEO search that we created,
A web page,
a community, a property search of the community,
a
right?
neighborhood search,
Neighborhood search, right?
and then you combine them together.
And then you combine them together.
Uh-huh. You created the SEO search page. I can't help it, and I got to freaking drive in this to Plano. Yes. 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 Plano? I'm like, wait, can you say that again? No, I have to go to, I was in Dallas Tuesday, came back Wednesday night. I'm turning around today, going back to Plano. It's the Balloon Festival, and we have a booth there, so I got to be out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Goodbye, Frank.